Good morning, friends. Today I thought I would take you with me while I do my morning chores on the homestead so you can check up on the animals with me. I'm going to start with the meat birds. And our garden tractor that we use to pull this, that I'm able to use, is still not operational, so I'll have to wait till dirt gets up in about an hour to be able to pull this and get them off their poop. Yeah, I like to make sure that these guys have access to food 24/7. For one thing, since they do poop so much, they don't have as much clean grass to be able to pick at and scavenge, and since it's still cold out, they don't really have access to bugs and stuff. So I like to okay, this one here is a beast. Look how big she is compared to the rest. She just eats straight from the top of the feed dish. But as you can see, they drink a lot, so they usually have their water cleared out by the time I wake up. So I'm gonna go scrub these nasty bowls so that they can have fresh water. I love watching them all flock around the water dishes when I give them fresh water. I don't know why, it's just entertaining for me watching chickens drink. But they're gonna enjoy that, and even though they have two water dishes, I'm probably gonna have to be down here in about 3 hours to fill them both back up because they drink a lot of water. They stay hydrated. I probably could take some lessons from them, but it's time to move on to the big girls. All right, so now we're down here at the big girl coop, and they are ready. It's funny. Yes, Rudy. It's funny because chickens can actually recognize up to 100 different human faces. It's pretty wild. And every morning, well, anytime that they see me, they start to go crazy. But every morning when I start to fill the buckets with water to bring down here for them, if they're not here waiting for me already, as soon as they hear that water in the bucket, they come running to the gate because they know what time it is. What do you think, ladies? You ready for breakfast? Okay, so we're in the feed barn now. Since we don't keep any feed or water in the coop itself, we have the feed barn here at the end of their run, and it's fully covered and weather protected, so their food and their water doesn't get messy and they can stay out here and eat when the weather's nasty. I don't know about some of y'all, but some of my chickens are a little prissy and they don't like to come out and get wet. But can't really blame them. So I'm gonna fill up their dish. And essentially, I just fill up the outside of the feed dish. I don't fill up the full inside because with this one, it's a little not working correctly. So I tried to put feed in the center, but it won't come out at the bottom. But I can fit enough in here. It lasts them. You're on my foot, Wanda. It'll last them most of the day, and I usually come down here midway through the day and check on them. And if they've emptied it too early in the day, I give them more. Some of my pretty girls. Oh? What'd y'all hear? And then I have just a secondary feeder here because we do have 32 birds in this run. And some of the smaller banties don't always get a prime seat at the dinner table, so. And then of course, my golden comets here, they kind of run the coop, so they do what they want. But so that's the feed barn, and that's what I do with them every morning. It's usually kind of a ruckus to get back here because they want their feed, but they also want to kind of surround me, so. They're good girls. Let's go check to see if they've laid me any eggs already. Well, good news. We have already gotten 3 eggs this morning. I don't know why my girls are so silly. We have 6 perfectly good nesting boxes, but some of them, even when the boxes aren't full, they insist on laying their eggs out here in the extension coop. But well, you know, Henrietta. Well, you know, darling. You gonna get ready to lay me an egg? I think so. She's heading in. As you can see, I've only got hay spread down at the bottom of their coop right now. I had to take out all the wood chips and stuff and mulch that we had in here. It was getting pretty gnarly. So the hay does well for now. It's easy to clean, to get the poop out, and once summer hits and we can get in a good sized load of mulch, they'll have mulch in here again. What, did you decide? You being picky about your box? But we're just gonna check to see. All right, no eggs in, oh, just kidding. Awesome. So it's not even 9 o'clock in the morning and we've already gotten 4 eggs. We switched our feed. I know that I spoke in one of the previous videos about how a bunch of people are kind of freaking out over I don't even know what brand it is, that they sell at Tractor Supply. And we've not fed our chickens feed from Tractor Supply. We usually used to get it from Rural King, but we have a feed mill just right down the road from us. So we went back to using their feed, and I don't really have opinions all that much on the whole feed issue in terms of egg producing quality. Just because of the time of year it is, with the molting and the weather being crazy going back and forth. But I will say that since we switched back over to that mill feed, that we went from getting 3 to 4 eggs a day to yesterday we got 13. So who knows? But I'm happy with getting 13 eggs a day this time of year all day long. So I'm proud of my girls. They do awesome. All right, so now that you've seen my process with my big girls and Rudy, we're gonna head up to the rabbits. Follow along. All right, we're up here with the rabbits. There's not a lot of room in the bunny barn, so I went ahead and fed and watered and all that with them. But since y'all haven't been in here and seen these rabbits, I'm gonna introduce you real quick. They're all eating their breakfast now. This is Brownie. I guess maybe I should have introduced y'all before I did the feeding, but this is Little Snow. This one, we are crossing our fingers, is a doe so that we can add her into the breeding family, but I'll probably try to sex her in about a week. And this is Little Tanner. The lighting's not great in here. And these, all the manure belt here that's hung up as a wind block, once the weather gets warmer and stays warmer, that'll all come down, so they'll have full ventilation in here. And then these, these 3 you're gonna have a hard time seeing because they are 3 giant fluff balls. I haven't named them because it's impossible to tell them apart, but they're pretty adorable. And then Grayson's over here enjoying the feeding. So with the rest of the rabbits, I haven't fed yet, so you'll actually get to see them interacting. But we're coming over here to the grow out pen, and of course from the recent video when I mentioned that I left the gate unlatched, it was this latch here. It was either fully unlatched or it was just barely hanging on to where one of them bumped it. But Dirk added a couple safeguards for both of these since we do use that kind of latch. So we won't have any more issues with that. But I'm gonna, let's see, set you over here. They always scatter their water dishes by the end of the night. I know a lot of people use the hanging plastic feeders, the drip feeders. I despise those. Every one that I've ever used they've not been consistent. within the same brand, same line of products. No consistency as to whether they would work or they would leak. And then of course during the winter, if you use those, you're gonna have to fight the water freezing and potentially busting. But I like my feed and water dishes pretty well. Come on, here we go. And these guys get 4 full scoops of the pellet feed daily. I'll come back out here probably around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. But they are kept stocked with hay throughout the day, so they always have something to nibble on. And then fill these waters up. Who's stomping? All right, hop down. Don't fall out. And they know what time it is. Watch out, sweeties. And same, now don't knock over the feed bucket. The same thing with these bunnies. They get 4 full scoops a day. Mainly because since there's so many in here, I don't know if I put just a 1/4 cup amount for each of them. I don't know if they're all gonna be able to eat the same amount. I might have some little fatties in here, but they're fun to watch. All right, now I'm gonna move my supplies over to the other hutches and I'll be right back with you. All right, we're over here by the main hutches, so we'll get started. I am so tempted to take down their wind blocks, but this is Indiana in February and I am not at all convinced that winter's over, even with the warmer temperatures. So Butters, my rabbits have a tendency to like to put things in their water dish. I'm not really sure why. But Butters is one of our newest mama does. We bred her just the other day. So hopefully she'll give us a decent sized kid. And as she gets farther along, she'll get more kibble too, more pellet feed. And after she has the babies, she'll be on a diet of more compared to the other bunnies, just because she is raising little ones. Some hay. All right, enjoy your breakfast, darling. All right, and here we have Minnie, who was supposed to be a little doe, but is a little buck. Still looks identical to his mom. There you go. All right, now it's time to hit Little Bit's cage. You got any of your babies out? Look, we have eyes opening. Little Bit. Oh, no, don't bite my sweatshirt. All right, let's see. Hi, sweetheart. Alright, let me fill up your water first, and then I'll get your pellets. Now, she is so funny. And I mentioned that she's pretty territorial when it comes to her babies. But I have found a trick. Now, let me get my scoop out first, darling. No, you gotta, come on. Come on. Baby. Come on. You already got you a bite, so you're good. She usually comes over here and will try to drag this feed dish in, and then, oh, here we go. Come on, get some. And when she does that, she lets me pet her. And we've just kind of bonded a little more since I've been letting her do that again. Hi, you're a good girl. Great mama. But the last couple of days that I've come out here to check on her, 2 or 3 of the babies have been out, so they've been wiggling out on their own. But just, they are so precious. And it's pretty funny that they all have, it looks like they're all gonna be the same pattern and same coloring. Usually they range all over the place in terms of color, kind of like cats. Here's the star, Teddy. What we doing, Bubba? Oh, what we doing? I know you always empty your water dish. He likes to sit in his food dish. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. For some reason, he's taken to wanting to mate with my arm every time I pet him now, so I have to be careful because he got a hold of it one day, and I feel sorry for these does. I've always watched the bucks kind of grab onto the back of their neck and didn't really think much of it. Well, he tried to do that with my arm, and he just about broke the skin with his teeth. It did not feel pleasant. So, I don't know if... There you go, Bubba. He's a big water drinker, too. His dish is usually empty by the time I come out here. There you go, buddy. I gotta close this to get his hay. And not all the rabbits get the same amount of hay. Some of them don't really like to eat it and tend to just use it as bedding, which is fine. But the ones that do that, I don't really put a lot of fresh hay in until I realize, you know, if I can tell that it's been soiled a lot or if it's wet, I definitely will change it out. Hey, big guy. Yeah, you're not one that likes to be pet too much. And this is Teddy's dad, actually. There you go, buddy. There you go. Get him some more hay. And usually if I notice that the hay has been sitting in their cage for a while, or it's messy, if I stop giving them extra, they usually do clean up what they have in there. But this hay is not expensive, and it's easy to keep them with food options. Thumper, what have you done to your food dish? Silly girl, silly mama. See, and it's funny because with some of them, I've left the hay, yes, you're adorable. I've left the hay there, and that was from yesterday morning, and she won't touch it. So some of them just don't like to eat the hay, in which case she'll just get extra pellets. I'm not gonna let any of my bunnies starve just because I want to save a few bucks. I know, Mama, it's coming. I know. There you go, darling. And of course, I'll be out here later today to fill that up again for her. And let's see about her babies. It's getting warmer, Mama. You can let them out there bedding. Oh, look at them. All black and then one kind of brownish. I love baby bunnies. All right, and this hutch here, we're actually going to be tearing down pretty much completely here soon. Once Dirk gets the second buck hutch done, these two boys will move into that hutch and he'll work on this and get it back up into shape. It needs a lot of work to it, but they both have the built-on nesting boxes, so obviously we don't need nesting boxes for bucks. Buddy, this is Mouse. This was one that I had fallen in love with and thought was a little girl, little doe. But of course, all of my favorite bunnies end up being bucks. Oh, I missed you, Pepperoni. All right, let me go fill up my water bucket. I'll be right back with you, folks. All right, I've got my water bucket filled back up. Can't believe I almost forgot Pepperoni. As mentioned in one of the previous videos, she was the first rabbit, one of the two first rabbits that we got a few years back as a pet. I didn't have any intention on breeding at the time. Little did I know that Dirk did. But she's not gonna have any more babies for us. She had her last litter at the end of 2022, and she's right around 4, maybe 4.5 years old. So she's just gonna live out the rest of her life happily here as a little nursing home rabbit. Yes, Mouse. Oh. And it looks like his cage is a mess with hay, but excuse you, get your big head back in there. But he eats a lot of it, so I'm gonna put more in there for him, and then every couple of days I just won't give him any extra hay, and then he'll clean all that up. He's a good boy. There you go, Bubba. And then this is Sassy Boy. When we got him, we thought that he was a girl, so he is a little bit sassy, a little bit shy. So instead of changing his name, instead of Sassy Girl, he's now Sassy Boy. And he is at least part Lionhead. He makes some beautiful babies. Oreo, that I introduced in one of the previous videos, we've actually sold because we found out that Oreo was a little boy, and $4 is just, it's pushing being too much. I mean, I don't need $4, but I fell in love with Teddy and I fell in love with Mouse, so I'm very happy I was able to get Oreo a good home. But that was Oreo's dad. And that's all, folks. That's my morning chores. I do this every day, and here in about a week and a half I'll have more added on to that, because here at the end of February we're actually going to be getting, I believe, 5 piglets to raise up. So look forward in the next couple of videos. It's what, the 20th already, and I think we're getting them on the 1st or 2nd, and we still don't have their enclosure even started on. So that's going to be a big thing we're working on in the next couple of days, and of course we'll share our process with you. But stay tuned to baby piglets coming very soon, y'all. But in the meantime, keep on keeping on, my friends.